Tuesday, January 23 market analysis. Dan Ehrlich. You guys know I start out with the stock indexes and the March E-mini usually, which is what we're looking at. Daily vertical bar chart, same thing as a candlestick, just different colors and isolating the open close with a body and what's above and below is a wick, but it's the same chart. Now, the important criteria here is that we have made new highs for the whole trend. And in fact, some of the indexes have made new highs, historical, all-time historic new highs. DIA, Dow Jones, S&P. So this being the Spider E-mini, we're new all-time historic highs. We have blasted off on Friday, follow through yesterday on Monday, and today, we're having a little bit of a problem. We're round unchanged at this moment, and it's 9:52 California time, just a little after the middle of the market, 6:30 to 1 California time. And we're overbought or extremely close to it with most of the indexes, not the March E-mini. It came super close yesterday. Didn't quite get there. The high for the RSI yesterday on my custom RSI was 74.29, meaning 74.29. And that does not hit 75. I like 75 or higher. My personal preference, not necessarily yours. So, almost overbought. Implication, probably going to have a bit of a dip. Same thing for the other indexes you will see in a moment. Where, how far down, how long it's going to take. The only two things on your axis are time and price. My answer is down just a little bit to 48.42 approximately, and it'll only take a day or two or three. Could even be today. But I think that's the beginning of support, should be. And you have reasonably good trading range for about a month, all the way down into about 47.20, which is not going to be ruled out completely. So somewhere in this trading range, probably at the high end of it, we're going to bounce off of and then start to move into new high ground again soon. Next chart, Spider, same kind of comments, except the Spider actually did get officially overbought. So that's why I've got yellow price action here. And the RSI just barely got to 75.96 yesterday, and today it got up to 75.07, above 75. So we got yellow and yellow. Plus we gapped up this morning, a little bit of a maybe exhaustion short term. And we're having trouble like you would expect with the E-mini, same thing. So I'm looking for a dip down on the Spider to 477-ish, and maybe to the bottom of the sideways range for the last month, 467.50-ish. Here's the 1 minute chart. You can see we're rallying right now on the S&P 1 minute, starting today at the white dashed vertical line is the session break. That's the end of the previous day and the beginning of today. So, popped up early, sagged, came up a little, new lows. Again, so far the low was 8:36 this morning, California time, and now we're rallying pretty good. Net change, 30 cents higher on the Spider for the day. That's a small amount. The DIA we'll get to in a moment is down $1.60. Not a lot, but some. And the Qs are up about the same as the Spider. They're up about 60 cents. Next chart. DIA, same situation. Major historical new highs Friday. Follow through yesterday, Monday. A little bit of a dip today, did not quite get to overbought, came very close. But we do have an interesting situation. We got overbought for quite a while back in November, December, and then we have no new highs in the indicator, but we have a few new highs in price. That's called divergence, and it is one broader type of an indication that the market is about to have some sort of a reaction, down reaction, dip. So I think it started today. May not be very much. 377 for the DIA, maybe down to 370. Next, Russell 2000, not the same situation at all. Nowhere near historical highs, and just simply in new high ground for quite a while, a year or so. And that was on December 28th, or the day before, 27th, just after Christmas. But it's overbought, topped out, gapped down, slipped through a couple of support areas into another one, finally got oversold and bounced a few days ago last week. So there is a small gap to close at 192. It's not much below yesterday's low. And if the Russell gets down to close the gap, the other indexes are probably going to be about the beginning of their support, which I've detailed, give you the numbers of. So that's a pretty reasonable combination. QQQ also has a gap to close. Guess where? Right smack dab at the breakout. Gapped up on Thursday, did not close the gap at all, and just simply ran up. Overbought last 3 days, including today. Friday last week, Monday and Tuesday this week so far. Close the gap, I think so, 413. Come down a little bit more, another gap, 407. But there's a chance we could get down to 394. I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Next chart, NASDAQ futures, same situation, come down to support, 17,170. Possibility of coming down to the better support area, more important, 16,438. Futures. Spider E-mini continuation contract, same story, no change, just a little bit different perspective. Prices are a little bit different or exactly the same. Price movement's the same. So if you want to ask questions, info@ersignals.com. I'm not going to bite. info@ersignals.com. Looking for a correction. Next, NASDAQ. Looking for a correction, officially overbought, turned yellow 3 days. Nothing new here. Back to support, 16,420-ish. Bonds. Testing support. Oversold on Friday and Thursday of last week. Popped up on Monday. Slipping again today, helping the indexes slip a little. Maybe it's going to make a little bit of a new low. Get back into the red zone, which is not much of a new low, very minor amount, and turn up. I'm not looking for a lot more lower. I'm looking for the market to hold maybe in the red area or a little bit above. So far, that's true. And turn up. First indication, going to close above yesterday's high. Then I'm going to be a little bit more certain that we have turned a corner and there's more rally coming. Notes, 10-year notes. Support. Almost oversold. Excuse me, not quite. Super close. RSI low 2509. I need 25.00 or less. So it didn't turn things yellow. I don't have a bullish engulfing, which would change it to green buy signal officially. And I do have to point out, if you didn't see it, my ER signals got the exact low day of the bond market, October 23rd. You can't get better than getting in on the low day. You can buy the low of the low day. My system doesn't quite do that, but it does get you in if the green is on the bottom day. Back to notes. Almost the exact same statement. The low is almost the lowest low. Okay. Obviously, I think the interest rate futures are about to turn back up. Next is crude oil. Not too much to say. Trading range sideways for a couple of months now. Pennant formation seems to be breaking out to the upside. Not very good to begin with. I'll wait on some more specific ideas. These are not official recommendations. I used to have a commodity broker's license for 30 some years, a stockbroker's license for a couple of years. I used to be a hedge fund manager, the best license you can get in the industry. I don't have any of them now. I've got the experience. So I can say a little bit more than if I had a license, but I don't mislead people. So I'm going to wait on crude to come up with some better comments. Next, natural gas. Well, we got a red sell signal. That's my strategy. Went down the next day like crazy, Friday. Went down yesterday quite a bit, Monday. And again, it's down again today. What can I say? I don't like where the sell signal is, but it qualified for all the criteria for the code to turn a red, and that's that. I mean, if it's red, it's red. If it's green, it's green. I like this one. Top of the rally, almost to the exact day. That was a bad green buy signal. It didn't work. They don't all work perfectly, or sometimes not at all. That red sell signal worked just fine. You can see it dropped off for about a week or so. That one worked okay, but it was only a couple of days worth. So I'm getting very close to oversold. We're getting very close to previous lows. Maybe there's a little bit more downside here, but I think we're close to turning back up again, at least to close the gap from Friday's low to yesterday's high. Next chart, heating oil. Quite a bit of support in this area, but the highs are slowly but surely dropping down and down and down, squishing this market through the bottom. I think we're fairly close to dropping off into new low ground, and there's something terribly wrong with my RSI at the bottom. I apologize, I didn't see that until just now, but probably not oversold. So we're just flat. Going to fix this for tomorrow. The system goofed somehow. Next, gold. Between a rock and a hard spot in a current resistance area support area, because we came down into it, bounced off the bottom of it, but it ain't going anywhere. And I'm not even close to being overbought, oversold. So I got not too much to say. The head and shoulder top is not acting very classically. This is the shoulder over here in October. The head is in a bearish engulfing on the high of the shoulder, almost exactly to the high. We got a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the high day, a whopper of a sell signal. It worked extremely nicely. There's the last shoulder high, December 28th. Now the neckline is teasing with us. Market broke out last week. No, it didn't. It came back up above the line, stayed above the line, came down yesterday on the line. Not good enough. We're still on the line. I need really a close below last week's lows. Then I'd be fairly convinced that we're going to go down all the way to the minimum downside objective of 1,835. That's a pretty darn good $90 move from right here, which is the neckline. And I have to now make an adjustment for the breakout, because that last breakout wasn't legit. So I'm going to add a little bit of time and raise the beginning of the objective line. And so the objective has gone up a little bit to 1850. Next chart. Silver. Oversold yesterday, bouncing a little today. No shocker. Got a lot of resistance, a little bit above the market. I don't think this rally is going anywhere, and I'm looking for new lows. Now, that could collaborate, so to speak, with the gold expectation of it breaking out to the downside, but it's not doing it yet. On the other hand, gold's not going up a lot either. On the silver, we got a sell signal on the top day exactly, very close to the high of that rally, on the exact high day, on the exact high day, on the exact high day, on the exact low day, a buy signal. Not bad. Next, platinum. Momentarily stuck at support, but the overall trend is sideways, if not down. We've seen lower lows over time and lower highs, even though this high is, a new high for several months. It didn't hold. It gave it away. plus it was in resistance, plus it was overbought. So that's what we got. Now, this buy signal was not good. That's too bad. It didn't work. Small loss on that. And we're waiting for another signal, which I could get anytime now, and it might be a buy signal, but I haven't got it yet. No signal, no trade. So I'm waiting. Next, high grade. Trying to bounce. So-so. Again, this is the rock and that's the hard spot. Or maybe that's the hard spot and that's, but we're between resistance and support. And it may just bounce around a little bit more in that area for a while before we get a major breakout or a new signal. Next, soybeans. Oversold twice at a support level, almost the exact same, 2 quotes. Now coming up to a minor new high for the last couple of days. I talked about the last few days, a rally starting. This looks a little bit more profound. I'd like to see it stay here and gain a little bit more ground, probably up to 1240 or higher. And then I think we're going to go all the way back up to 1290. So my short-term upside expectation looks like it should be 1290. Right about in there. Next, bean oil. Sideways for a while. Starting to move up. Not oversold, but pretty close. A rally and a bear trend? Yes. Up to about 50? Yes. That's about it. I also have to point out, we got a buy signal at the bottom of that break. We had a buy that was not a good one at that price, unfortunately. Too bad. Also, that's a bad one. And I think there's a bad one right there. Yes, correct. That was okay. Sell signal on the top of a rally. Many of these ER sell signals are the high or low day for weeks and months and even more than that to come. Some of them don't work. They're stopped out pretty quick. Next, meal. Testing a bull trend line. Oversold yesterday. Rallying today. Again, no surprise. But I can't get overly excited about this. I suppose there's a chance we can get all the way back up to there. What the heck is that? That's something I left over. Okay. Chance it can get up to 398. I'm not convinced about that yet. No comment. Next, corn. Oversold, rally in a bear trend. Not going to go too far. More money to be made to sell the rally. Maybe a little bit more on the upside short term. Wheat, same kind of comment. No new low, so we could be, but it's real early in the game. Might be making some kind of a bottom, but that's the first time I've mentioned this for months and months. But the reason is it didn't make a lower low here last week or so. That's interesting. Next, cattle. Oversold, near support, buy signal, working out, so-so, not great. New highs. I think it's going to come up to 180, I've said, for a week or 2 or 3, and turn down. Next, hogs. Okay, we got a minor upside breakout off of a support area. That's about it. This is a little rally, maybe up to resistance at 83.2 in a bear trend. Next, OJ. One of my whoppers lately. We had a sell signal on the first shoulder high of a head and shoulder top on October 31st. We have an ER sell signal on the exact historic high on November 21st for OJ. It formed a head and shoulder top, last shoulder high, December 12th. Neckline got teased for a day, kind of like what's happening in gold. Popped up a little bit, and then all of a sudden, slam dunk, 1 day down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Got oversold. Finally, 1 2-day rally up against the resistance level, the top of a previous support area that didn't hold at all, and hit resistance, turned back down to get to my minimum downside objective, which was 288. Came so close, 1 point, and bouncing last 3 days, 3 or 4. It's not going anywhere. I don't think it's going to get much above 320, 370 and turn down. Next, cocoa. Unbelievable strength. Kind of like orange juice, several months ago. Very overbought. Blew through a resistance line today, although it stopped there yesterday and last Friday. But it ignored it and just blew through it today and looks like it's going to close above it also. How high is up? There's no real good answer to that. You could get even more overbought, but I have to point something out. Look at this RSI scale. When's the last time the RSI was at 88? Back here? Yeah, and it did drop off some very quickly. Close, turned down a little. Another bearish engulfing sell signal right there. Back here, we have a significant high shortly thereafter, not exactly the right timing. And here we had a bearish engulfing. That's why the RSI is red. Also, let's pull the RSI subgraph divider down again and look at that sell signal. Okay, that worked for about a week. This one worked for a couple of weeks. Good trade. That one's okay, but it's in a bull trend. The long-term trend did not change. Could have, but we don't have a trend change. Good sell signal in the high of the rally. Not particularly good here. Minor profit. Nothing is working on the short side to any major extent. But I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't happen soon, like orange juice. Next chart, coffee. I started talking about maybe a shoulder high yesterday and today, just because it got a little bit higher so far today than yesterday's high. Does not kill the pattern, but you can't go sideways. It ruins the shoulder. You can't go up. It ruins the shoulder. I pretty much have to see it start to go down ASAP. Not happening today yet. Keep a close eye on coffee. Next, sugar. Bumping against resistance, overbought, outside trading range day or bullish engulfing, but that's bullish, not bearish. But the problem is this bullish engulfing is coming to pass in an overbought condition. That could be a reverse situation. I call it, it's nicknamed bass-backwards reversal for the lack of a better name. But I've seen these outside up days in overbought condition actually be tops. This is not a top yet. I'm not saying it is. Let's see in the next few days whether it turns into one. Next, cotton. Inside day, meaning doji. Not much happening. Overbought a couple of days. May turn back down. Rally came up to a little bit of resistance. Can't come to any major conclusion yet. And back to the E-mini. So far, we're still up only 30 cents on the spider. Hardly higher. And still down $1.50 in the DIA. So nothing has moved up or down very much since I began this about 22 minutes ago. Okay, so you guys have a great trading day. Talk to you tomorrow. Signing off. Thank you.